welcome back to Lily Lady's Kitchen. Thank you so much for continuing to watch this show. Today what we're going to be making, I'm going to be making some chicken legs, and I'm going to be making some cabbage, some red cabbage, some fresh green beans, not the kind from the can, and then I'm going to put a little bit of a vinaigrette kind of gravy down over the chicken, and I'm going to also make some rice. So stay tuned. So the first thing we're going to get started with is our chicken. I'm going to get this fire started here. Alright. So I'm going to just put it on high heat just to get the grill warmed up. What I'm going to do is put this down on the grill, let the chicken brown on the skin side down first, and then I'm going to flip it over and let it get a little color on the other side, put it in a pan and stick it in the oven to let it cook through. So I'm going to go ahead and start the warming process, putting the oven at 350 degrees, and this is nice and warm here. Put a little extra virgin olive oil onto our grill. Okay. I'm going to turn this down onto medium. Now while that's going, we're going to season our chicken. Let's test you and see what you remember. What's the first thing we're going to season with? Sea salt. You got it. So we're going to put a nice amount of sea salt down in here. Don't be shy. And then, what's next? That's right, cayenne pepper. There's a fourth of a teaspoon measure here. I have a little bit on the spoon. It's not a whole fourth. I'm just going to sprinkle that. I think that's enough. And then what I like to do with my chicken, you can just leave it like that, or you can add a little bit of acid to it. Or you can put a little herb on it. So the herb that I like to use is basil, sweet basil. So you just get, I'll use my measure for you, so you know how much it is. So again, this is my 4th teaspoon measure. And sprinkle this on here until I feel like it's enough. So it's 1/4 and 2/4. That should be enough. Alright. Now, some people like to put poultry seasoning on their chicken or whatever. We're just going to do a really simple seasoning here. Alright. So we're going to put this on medium-high. Seasoning side down. And our chicken. Okay, I need to wash my hands after touching that chicken. And what this is going to do is it's going to crisp the skin up and give it a nice, beautiful caramel color. Nice and golden on one side, now we flip it over. So now that we have that nice caramel color, We're going to go ahead and put it down into our pan. And just so that we can get some steaming action to cook it all the way through, we're going to put a little bit of water down in the bottom. Okay, so for vegetables, we're gonna add a little bit of color to our plate. And this color that I chose is purple, which is my favorite color. So all I'm gonna do right now is I'm just gonna cut straight through my cabbage, cut the rib out. And then chop it on a draining bowl here, because of course you have to wash your cabbage. The beautiful thing about cabbage is you can always peel off the layers that you really don't want, which are anything that has any flaws or scratches or anything like that. Okay, so I'm just going to cut this in half this way, and then cut them into nice little chunks here. Okay, so of course I like to add, I'm going to do a little something different with this cabbage. I'm going to add some garlic and some onion and a little bit of cilantro to it, just to kind of give it its extra little to it, and just to do something a little different. We usually don't see people adding cilantro to the cabbage, but this dish actually, I got inspired to do this dish by something that I saw online, and it was basically chicken legs and purple potatoes, and they use some Brussels sprouts. And so, you know, sometimes what I like to do is cook things that are in season, and use the things that I have available at my local supermarket, or at the little market down the street. And so what I was really inspired by it, and they used smashed purple potatoes, and I went to the store and they didn't have purple potatoes here where I am. And so I was like, well, maybe I can do purple cauliflower, because you can smash up the cauliflower just like you would smash up potatoes and get the similar effect. And so one day I'll do that once I find some purple cauliflowers, purple potatoes, and we'll do that together. But for today, I went with what they had at the store, which was the purple or red cabbage. And so they used, in this recipe, they had some onion and garlic and some cilantro that they used. And so I said, well, why not put onions and garlic and cilantro down into my red cabbage? Something different. Haven't done that before. It should still be good. So that's where this meal was inspired from. And this meal is going to be really, really quick. It's going to be really, really quick. We already have our chicken down in, that has been seared for flavor and color, and we got it down inside of the in the oven so that it can cook through a little bit of water to help it steam through, keep its moisture and everything. So now we're gonna start our first vegetable, which is our cabbage. And cabbage doesn't take very long to cook at all. Not at all. Some people like their cabbage al dente, which is cooked with a little firm texture to it. I like mine cooked a little bit more than that. So I'm going to get it heated up, and then I'm going to turn it on simmer and let it steam through. Garlic there. So I'm going to use the garlic and the onions to season my olive oil that I'm going to use. Can you believe I'm not using butter? The beautiful thing about onions and garlic is it really helps to boost your immune system. I did a little bit of research on it as I was studying to become a health educator. And you know, I had to do a paper and a presentation on something, and so I chose to do my presentation on food, a particular dish called navy bean soup. And of course, in the navy bean soup, you have onions and garlic. And I did some research on each vegetable. And onions and garlic have such wonderful nutritional properties in them. One of the things that I noticed about garlic is it helps to fight asbestos. And that actually came in handy one day. I had a friend who was doing some contracting work and got some asbestos on their arm and had like a little bit of a rash. And I remembered what I read. And so I was like, well, I wonder if I make a little paste with the garlic, if it would help. And then I also know that ginger is a natural anti-inflammatory. And so I was like, well, what would happen if I take the garlic and ginger and mix it together and make a little paste? You know, and put it on the area that's inflamed, you know, would it go away? And so I did, and this person, I'm thankful to this person for letting me experiment with them. And I put it on there, and they went to sleep overnight, and the next day when they woke up, the rash was pretty much half gone. And I made some more and did another treatment overnight, and it was gone in 2 days. And I thought that was so amazing, just using garlic and ginger and smashing them up together and making a little paste out of it, and just how powerful it was. So I have some cilantro here that I've sort of cleaned up a little bit. So I'm just going to chop off the edge here. Okay, and then just gonna run my knife through, kind of break it down a little bit. I don't want to mince it. I'm just gonna, because I still want the big chunk. So you're not gonna see my super quick parsley chopping knife work this time. But just cut it like this so that you can still see the nice big pieces. And we're going to put that into our cabbage. Alright. So I have a little red bell pepper here. And I'm cutting this up to use for the little sauce that we're going to put over our chicken. And I like to just get all my vegetables chopped up all at once, so that when it's time to actually use them, they're already done chopping or being chopped and washed. And then I can just go ahead and get them down into the dish. So we're just going to julienne the bell peppers to cut them into these nice little boat shapes here, like this. And because it's going to go into a sauce that's going to go on top of our chicken, I want it to still have its beauty, so I'm not going to dice it. I'm just going to julienne them, and then I'm going to just kind of cut them into these little pieces like this. Okay, so the first thing we're going to start with are string beans. Get that fire started. Then we're going to put it on about medium-high heat. Get some extra olive oil down into the pan and let that warm up. About a couple tablespoons of that. And of course we like to season our oil. So we'll put some 3 pinches of salt. Sea salt, of course. And about an eighth of cayenne pepper, depending on how much you like. If you do about an eighth, you still get the nutritional value of the cayenne pepper without the spice. But if you like it a little spicy, add a little bit more. Some of these onions going. Put a few of them in there just to get the oil nice and flavored. I'm going to turn this heat up. But I want to get this nice and warm and get it going, and maybe I'll turn it down later. Once the onions are translucent, then you know your oil is well flavored. Then you can start to add your green beans. Pinch more salt. It helps to break it down some. And with these, you can also add some smoked turkey tail that you can kind of fry up a little bit, or some smoked turkey neck or something like that. So you can put in with your green beans if that's how you like them. Otherwise, use a nice clean vegetarian way. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to put these on the back burner and get our cabbage started. Okay, a little lid. Let that steam through on low heat. A little extra virgin olive oil. A couple tablespoons of that. Get that heat going on high just to get it warmed up. Okay. What are we at? 1, 2, 3 pinches of salt, sea salt. That should be enough. About an eighth of cayenne pepper once again. Get that garlic and onion in there. Oh yeah. Smell that aroma. I'm going to add a little bit more salt. Don't worry about it not having enough room at first. The cabbage is going to melt down. It's going to make a whole lot of space and juices in the pot. So you just add them a little bit at a time. So you want to just keep stirring and adding as you go along until you get all the cabbage melted down and incorporate it into your pot. As you put that on the heat, add a little extra virgin olive oil, a couple tablespoons, just to kind of season the bottom of your pot. Just a little pinch of salt, and drop that right down in there. So now that we got it nice and warm, and it's already starting to melt down, still have a little bit of water left in my cup here. I'm going to add a little bit more water. It's about half of my coffee mug. Kind of mix that together just to deglaze the bottom of the pan. I usually make about 2 cups of rice, and the way I do it is I put some extra virgin olive oil in there, a couple of tablespoons, and I toast my rice. And I use parboiled rice, so it's already been washed and partially cooked. But sometimes it still can be a bit starchy. So I toast my rice, then I go and wash it, and then I add the water and let it cook. Add a little sea salt. Probably add a little bit more. Just a little bit, not too much. Just a little bit of cayenne pepper. I don't know, I just can't help it. I like my rice to have a little bit of flavor to it. Sometimes I can do the plain white, but I really, really like it. A little bit of flavor. Get as much sea salt and cayenne pepper in your system as you can. Got a mug full of water. Once it starts to boil, you put that fire on low. Okay? While that's going, you remember that skillet that we started to cook our cabbage in? Well, there's a lot of wonderful flavors in there that we're going to use. So, put a little bit of extra virgin olive oil in there. Now we're going to make our sauce that's going to go over our chicken. Turn that back burner on low, starting to boil back there. Fresh lemon zest. That's the bell pepper. Mushrooms. And if you're not a mushroom eater, you don't have to add the mushrooms. You can use artichoke hearts if you want to have that meaty texture. be a little bland. So you add salt to taste. Once you get used to cooking with sea salt, you'll know about how much you should add to your food. Add some acid to it. What I'm using is some apple cider vinegar here. And once you add that, it's gonna, I probably should have kept that fire up. It's gonna turn the heat down some. I got the heat back up, so I'm gonna turn this back down on low. Deglaze the pan with that. And now the recipe that I saw didn't call for any lemon juice. I'm gonna add some, because I just like lemon juice with cilantro. And these are lemons that I picked from my garden in the backyard. And they're just so juicy. I'm gonna use the whole lemon. Oops. So we've gotten our rice going, we've gotten our cabbage going, we've gotten our green beans going. I'm gonna check on our green beans. I'm gonna check on our chicken. And then I'm gonna get all of this plated and give it a taste. Now for a little taste. Wow. This turned out to be a really great meal. So here you have it. The seared chicken leg that was baked in the oven over a bed of rice, which we browned the rice or toasted the rice in olive oil, and then we add a little bit of sea salt, little teeny tiny bit of cayenne pepper. We didn't want it too flavorful because everything else is going to have so much flavor in it. We have fresh homemade string beans, and we have fresh purple, beautiful red purple cabbage with the pops of red bell pepper and the cilantro and the onions. And it's just so good with the sauce that we made that has the mushrooms. You can change out the mushrooms for artichoke hearts if you like. If you want to keep that meaty texture with the onions and the cilantro and a little bit of bell pepper. For acid, I added the apple cider vinegar as well as the lemon juice from the lemons that I got in my backyard. And this is a great meal. So thank you once again for joining us on Lovely Lady's Kitchen. Don't forget to continue to watch some of the other episodes. This is episode number 7. So feel free to go back and look at some of the other episodes. Watch how we grow and progress here. And I just thank you so much. Don't forget to subscribe below, as well as to share on your Facebook page. You can follow me on Facebook and Instagram, and you just go and type in Lovely Lady's Kitchen. And I look forward to your comments and your messages that you've been sending me. They are awesome. Keep sending them. They're wonderful inspirations. Thank you guys. I love you so much.